message if all women like me and all those who love and support women like me. I want to talk to you guys about dreams for a minute, and I want to explain what I have learned about dreams. So I want to start by saying this may be different from something that you've learned or heard someone else say. Maybe not learn specifically, because I don't believe that the Holy Spirit will tell us, information that's opposing. But maybe you've heard someone else speak about dreams, and I don't know how they got the information. So I just want to say this. I'm saying that because I've heard other people speak about dreams, and it's going to sound different from what I have to say, but I'm sure about what I have to say. So I think one difference of understanding of things comes from where the person is, what place the person is when they're receiving this insight information, or what they believe to be insight information from the Holy Spirit. Because I would say this: there's a difference between somebody who is fully submitted to the Holy Spirit, truly a vessel for the Holy Spirit to dwell in, creating themselves to be that appropriate vessel and always having a listening ear to God, versus someone who is who's a Christian, has access to the Holy Spirit, but their ways, their lifestyle may not be in full submission to the Lord. There might be open doors to sin. They might live out of their soul a lot more than relying on the Holy Spirit for information. So what I mean by that is that they understand that the Holy Spirit can give them information, but they do rely on their own self. Whether it is to make decisions, whether they are someone who, when I say out of their soul, meaning like, okay, my experience, my earthly wisdom leads me to some things. My memories, my emotions lead me to do and think some things, rather than someone who, again, is fully submitted to allowing the Holy Spirit to guide them in all of their ways. Okay? Someone who has wisdom that they've attained in any kind of way, may think a certain thing and not allow the Lord room to grow them, have them unlearn something, reteach, add more information, that type of things. Certain people do not allow themselves to be teachable and pliable and growable to the extent that the Holy Spirit may be trying to get them to. So I would say that is the difference, okay? And even in that difference, when it comes to the way that certain people, and I'm speaking about dreams, interpret dreams, again, they might be interpreting them from a standpoint of, I've learned this about this. I've learned that this means this. I've learned that, something that they previously learned, rather than sitting with Holy Spirit and allowing Holy Spirit to explain. Again, like, this childlike thing is very real. Don't always be so sure that you have a grasp or you have an understanding on something. Remaining teachable means that, okay, I know I learned this before and I heard this before and I understood this before, but what do you say now today, Lord? What do you say about this today? Okay, when you approach dreams in that way, it is, you always are still sitting with Holy Spirit to check and make sure you're understanding things right. This symbolize this something, because a lot of times dreams are, likened to parables. You need the Holy Spirit to be able to figure it out. Anybody who says you can just Google things or ask somebody else to interpret your dream for you, like, the Holy Spirit may be speaking to them to help you, but what if they're not? What if you're asking somebody to help you interpret a dream and, they're not being empowered by the Holy Spirit? They're being empowered by something that they learned before, or something that they learned about themselves. And I want to tell you that your dreams are based out of your, like, it's based out of you. Your experience, your life helps lead you towards what a dream is. The Lord knows everything that you've seen, heard, been through, all of that. So while one person may think that a green chair means something insignificant in your dream, the Lord gave you and put a green chair in your dream for a reason. And it might be because that your grandmother used to always sit on a green chair with you, and He wants you to think about something in relationship to that. That's just an example that I just put out of my head. But what I'm saying is that symbolism in a dream is very specific to you. So other people can't interpret your dreams for you. You need a relationship with the Holy Spirit for that. And I'm thinking about Daniel right now. If somebody is interpreting your dream for you, it is because the Holy Spirit is telling them, is giving them the information. Not because they just know something. They have some type of power. They're empowered by the Holy Spirit. It has to be somebody who lives in submission to the Holy Spirit to be able to do that for you. Because the Holy Spirit tells you secrets. The Holy Spirit uncovers mysteries to people who are listening to Him. And it's not to say that that person couldn't interpret their own dream through the Holy Spirit, but if they don't have experience with that, if they're not allowing Holy Spirit to do what Holy Spirit does, if they're not sensitive and open to Holy Spirit, if they're not in submission to the Holy Spirit, they won't understand everything that they are meant to understand. So the bottom line is, fix your relationship with the Lord. That is always my bottom line. That is never not going to be my bottom line. You're supposed to foster your own relationship with the Lord. You're supposed to be submitted to the Holy Spirit yourself. So you won't even need to be trying to go outside of yourself to figure out what's going on. Because, Pastor Stephanie, I reference her a lot. She has done a lot of work with dream interpretation. When she realized that the Lord wanted to speak to her through your dreams and through her dreams, and I think she says that, research says that humans spend 26 years of their life sleep. And if that is a window of time that you are not distracted and you hear from God, that is a time that God uses to communicate with you. But if you're not aware of that, you think your dreams are nothing. You think that your dreams mean nothing. And unless it's something really that sticks out to you, then you might pay attention to it. But then when you pay attention to it, you might think something literal is there. You might not even know what to do with it. So understanding right now is to know that the Lord will communicate with you through your dreams. Are you aware of it? Because if somebody's knocking at your door trying to tell you something, it means nothing unless you go to the door, right? Unless you know that they're out there. So what I'm saying is, realize that sometimes that the Lord will speak to you through your dreams because he's always desiring to speak with us. He really is. Whether it's to show you a warning, whether it's to give you clarification about something, whether it's to uncover something about your past, he can speak to you for a lot of different reasons through your dreams. And again, the reason why he may choose to speak to you through your dreams is because you are not distracted by the things that take your attention in your mind all day long. And you know that they do. That is a time that your mind shuts off from your wills to where it can allow the Lord to do what he needs to do if he's trying to communicate with you in a way where he can have your attention. But you need to realize that so that you can give him your attention. I would suggest that if you want to allow the Lord to speak to you through your dreams, that you pray. Ask him, before you go to sleep. I do this just about every night. Lord, if you're desiring to speak to me through my dreams tonight, make me aware, help me remember what I'm dreaming. And when you wake up and get it, you need to write it down. You need to just write down everything you remember. And then you sit with Holy Spirit and allow Holy Spirit to go bit by bit, detail by detail, help you understand what you're meant to get from this. Why is this person here? Because a lot of times the people that are in your dream don't even represent themselves, y'all. Like, again, it be that deep. It be that deep. Why does the Lord speak to you in symbolism through your dream? What the Holy Spirit told me is because in your dream state, your dream state is part of the spiritual realm. And I don't know if you've heard this before, but like astral projection and all of this stuff like this, things that happen that you may not understand in the spiritual realm. It's kind of like there's a level of access there, not just God. Okay, so I'll leave it at that because I don't want to keep talking and go down a wormhole with things that you may not understand. But I would say there's a level of access in the spiritual realm having to do with, your dream state. And it would be purposeful for the Lord to give you things that you have to sit with Holy Spirit to figure out exactly what you're meant to know from it. And I also say this. You know how people be like, oh, some dreams come from the Lord, some dreams come from you, some dreams come from the enemy. That is not what the Lord taught me. To an extent, that's accurate. But just like when you're awake, some of your thoughts come from the Holy Spirit, some of your thoughts come from the enemy, some of your thoughts come from your soul. So, like, this goes back to relationship, discernment, being sensitive to the Holy Spirit, and sitting with him. I interpret all of my dreams. I'm not going to assume, oh, this from the enemy, I got to ignore it. Just like in waking life, when it comes to the enemy, everything that comes from the enemy is because the Lord did not stop it from happening. The enemy, I don't care whether it's in the spiritual realm, whether you sleep or wake, the enemy cannot attack you without the Lord allowing it to happen. And why does the Lord allow this to happen? Or you allow it to happen. That means you have open doors dealing with witchcraft. Again, the basis of this is to fix your relationship. You shouldn't even be at that point, Christian. You shouldn't have all these open doors. You shouldn't have all of this access that you are allowing the enemy to have to you. So let's say that you good on that front, right? So just like Job, the Lord protects you. And like even people in witchcraft will say this all the time. They cannot get to and affect people who don't have open doors to the enemy. Who they're actually under submission to the Lord. So fix that in your life, period. But anyway, so I was saying that you're having these dreams, and even if the Lord does allow the enemy to influence a dream of yours, you sit with Holy Spirit and figure out why. Just like in waking life, if he's able to do anything, it's because you were supposed to learn something from it in some kind of way. The Lord allowed it. Figure out why. You always interpret it. Don't just throw it out and be like, oh, that was from the enemy. All right, y'all, I'm back. I had such a bad headache, sinus, whatever. So I had to cut my video. But anyway, so what the Holy Spirit showed me was that when it comes to soul induced dreams, That's not a thing for people who are in full submission under the Lord and receiving communication to the Lord from the Lord via dreams. Any dreams that you have, you're supposed to see with Holy Spirit and have Him explain to you why you're having it. Okay? Any dream, period. So this whole, oh, it was just my own, what I wanted to think about, that's not a thing for people who the Lord hijacks their dreams, and that's how He speaks to them consistently. Not somebody who, because there's different levels of Christian. If the Lord isn't, if the Holy Spirit, if you're not Holy Spirit filled, and He's not, consistently communicating with you throughout your day, it's like you haven't submitted your dream space to Him yet. When you are living with the understanding that I get to meet the Lord in my dreams and hear from Him and whatever He's trying to tell me in His life, then again, I use the word hijack. Holy Spirit is hijacking you. The Holy Spirit is communicating with you. It's not you. It's not you. Because even in waking life, it's like, you ever just sit and try to pray and then you keep thinking of stuff like, oh, I gotta go buy this, I gotta go do this next week. Why was the sky purple in sunset yesterday and it was orange today? Like, you just start thinking about random stuff. That's you. That's your mind wandering. But when you're in the sleep state, the spirit has the access to you, more access to you. And it's not your mind showing up in that way. Okay? So again, I'm speaking to people who are actually, walking with Christ for real. And if you're hearing me say that, and I've said it a bunch of times, and you know it's not you, fix it. Fix it. Fix your relationship. Fix your submission. Just fix it, y'all. That's it. All right, so I hope this helped. Pay attention to your dreams and sit with Holy Spirit. You're missing a lot of information. A lot of it. And I can tell you even now, one part that I just don't like, and I pray and I ask, but it's teamwork. I can't ask the Lord to help me remember my dreams better. Like, help me remember, because like the first 5 minutes, it'd be like that thing just go whew, a lot of times, and it'd be gone. Like, the Lord gave me a whole song. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You missed so much information. I had the words, I had the melody, I had everything, the whole thing. I don't know how He expected me to remember all this to be able to write it when I got up, but when I got up, all I could remember was melody. That's it. Like the words, and it was so good. That sounds so good. I believe that the Lord's gonna bring it back to me. He did that for a reason. But my point here is that be serious about it. If you're asking the Lord to help you remember your dreams so that you can get whatever He's trying to tell you, when you get up, don't just start lollygagging around and checking your phone and doing everything else, helping you forget what the dream was about. Do your due diligence, and even if you just got to take a note in your phone about it, a voice note, and just say everything that you remember briefly, so that when you actually sit down and write it, you'll have something to jog, something to a foundation to link onto when you're trying to remember the details. And He'll help you, but you gotta meet Him halfway. Okay? Your dreams are important, y'all. And the Lord, those of you that you allow the Lord to speak to you all the time, He'll speak to you through your dreams too. All right? That's all I got.